we are back with another Black with No Cream podcast. New episode every single Wednesday and Sunday. I am your host, Ben Haggerty, aka Ben Real Verse World, and this is my right hand, David Malave.
Hello.
Today's topic, we are calling it, this morning roast topic is called Until the Money is in the Bank. What is that you say? Well,
we'll tell you coming up
right after this intro.
Attention.
If you stop this podcast recording at any time, you will die.
I don't want to die.
Do you want to live?
You have 24 hours to share this podcast with 5 people or you will die.
I'm kidding. You won't die. You're just weak shit for not sharing.
And the winner of the best motherfucking podcast goes to...
Black with No Cream.
What do you think?
It's so fucking dumb and so fucking Ben Haggerty.
I knew you would say that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. What a hell of an intro. What a hell of an intro. Until the money's in the bank. Kind of came up with this off of reading 𝐀𝐕𝐎𝐑𝐈𝐓𝐄 𝐂𝐚𝐬𝑘. If you heard the podcast the other day, you get the joke. I fucked up his last name. VFX artist, legend himself, posted in Black with No Cream today with an inspiring post, which kind of helped us come up with this title, and we want to read it to you. And by we, I mean Dave, because my education is as low as a second grade reading level. Kick it off, Dave.
Am I reading the whole thing?
Yeah, fuck it.
All right. He says, as someone that's pretty much been a freelance video boy my entire life, I just want to drop one piece of knowledge that I've learned over the years. He says, there will be a shit ton of promises that will never bear fruit. Promises from clients and potential dream jobs, promises of fame and fortune, promises of stupid contracts that will make you richer than the Sultan. That's an Aladdin reference. Promises of building a fucking empire, and none of them will actually happen. I've learned to never assume something dope is going to happen in your freelance career because the one dude says it will. Grind until you see that fucking paycheck is in your hands waiting to be deposited. Nothing will be handed to you. I've been promised a lead editing job on a feature right out of college, replaced by a guy with a lip ring. I've been promised my own video production studio in one of Silicon Valley's most prominent companies. My boss quit and they dropped our asses. I've been promised a full US tour with a huge artist. They, quote unquote, didn't have enough money. That being said, it is up to you to make the good shit happen. Nearly all of the jobs that I'm proud of were the ones I went out and got myself. Keep pushing. All these little jobs and shit that are posted here, meaning Black with No Cream page, looking for another shooter, get on that. Build those relationships. Just because a dude saw some shit you posted on IG and offers you $1 million for a 10-second edit doesn't mean you made it. Most likely he'll never talk to you again. Take those risks and keep going. Most of it will be bullshit, but you only need that one. It's coming.
Until the money's in the bank. I think it's great. I think what 𝐀𝐕𝐎𝐑 says is fucking great, and everyone needs to hear that shit because there's too many projects, especially in this freelance world that we live in, that you're offered nonstop that never come to life. Ever. Like, some of it might just be like, oh, cool, got this job coming up, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to put so much money in your pocket. That never happens. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, we're going to shoot a music video, and it could be down to the day, and they'll cancel, and then they never rehire you. There could be videos. I've had plenty of projects that have been shot, like literally recorded, edited, finished, colored, and don't come out. And there's nothing worse than that fucking shit. But yeah, some of them do happen after the money's in your bank, but I think like the idea of until the money's in the bank makes sense because so many projects just don't even get to that part, and there's a lot of people that like to fucking bullshit, and there's a lot of people that like to, oh yeah, I work for this company, we got money, and blah, 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 and they'll say all the right shit, and you get pumped. And the worst fucking thing on earth is being so excited and then having that shit stripped from you. Like, it's the fucking worst. You know it from, there's so many times that you've had shit that you've worked on, even recently.
Right. Yeah, I've honestly been dealing with the most, I think, since coming to LA. But of course, we dealt with it all tour. Like, the amount of insane content, things that we've made that aren't out, that we can't share about is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Not to mention, crazy. Coming here, just working with artists, you learn that's a part of the process, which is honestly tough because, you know, being able to work with artists, you know, at a level that I've been able to work with, you have to deal with the idea of like just making stuff and not coming out. Whereas like, you know, I almost missed the times when you could just work directly with an artist and make something and you could put it out with no questions. Yeah. But I think there was a quote that I like back when I was in business school that an entrepreneur came and he talked about, we asked him like, you know, what it's like, and he said that being an entrepreneur, like starting a company is the feeling of like always being on the brink of something but like never getting there. So you're like always chasing, you always feel like something's about to happen, and then but you're never fully satisfied, or it never like comes the way that you think. And I feel like that's a lot with the freelance too. Like there's always these opportunities. Like you'll get a text, oh, you know, this guy's looking for a tour videographer, like, you know, this artist, and you're like, oh shit, and then you start imagining like, oh, what if I went on that tour, like it'll be sick, and you start putting yourself in that place. Or like someone says like, oh, you know, I've actually been looking for this position, it's gonna, you know, you could work with these people, or it's gonna pay this much, and you start imagining, and getting ahead of yourself in that way like can set you up to be like let down. And right, and you learn to like, especially out here, like nothing, like you said it, nothing, especially with the checks, like make sure you get the check actually there, and then that job is real. Like you can, it's funny because out here I feel like with, you know, net 30 pay and net 60 or whatever it is, like, you know, you have to wait. Right. Like you, in your head, you made the money, but it's imaginary money until that invoice finally comes in. I think that's kind of funny. Like, yeah, like even last month, like if I worked 5 or 6 times, like I'm just now getting paid for that, right? But so I know I did well last month, but that job is still imaginary, right? Until that money hits. Yeah. But I think it's even more important with the content and the tours, like whatever it is. If you get a promise, or you get something, or you even made a video, like, and you're just going around talking about it, I just shot this for this person, I just edited this person, you get really hyped about it, and you're sharing it, and you're posting on your feed, like, just wait, you know, like things that people do all the time, and then it doesn't come out. Coming soon. Yeah, like working on something, like, you know what I mean? Yeah. And everyone is so obsessed with like sharing and like wanting people to know that they're doing something. I'm fucking not irrelevant. Right. I'm doing dope shit. But then then when that shit doesn't come out, it sucks. And you look like an idiot. People are like, where's that video? And then you gotta explain, oh, you know, some shit happened, whatever. So I think that's just the value of like, keep your head down. Like, it's not real till it's real. Like, it's not real till your flight is booked, the invoice is like sent and paid, the content has been posted, it's on YouTube, it's on Spotify, it's on that's like me talking about the EA, like the song that we thought we were gonna have come out for Madden. It was supposed to be on ESPN, and we thought we were lit, and we were telling everyone at the bar, oh shit, our song's coming out tomorrow, it's crazy, we're partying. And then they switched the song, and our song didn't come out, and then we look like fucking idiots, because then people are like, yo, is it on ESPN? I didn't see it yet. No, it never will be. Imagine that feeling. But I think, I can imagine it. And I think, yeah, you can, but I think that's honestly interesting, because when I was in the studio one time, I was shooting a video in the studio, and I had mentioned something about how like the guy was like, oh, I'm excited to see the video, and I'm like, and I made a joke like, yeah, you know, if it comes out, because I had already dealt with, you know, Spotify videos, whatever. Like, you definitely can't count on those, because they can just not go up. Right. And he's like, don't, trust me, I know. I like said something, and I know, and like it made me think, like, especially artists, musicians, producers, the amount of songs that are in the can, like the amount of songs that these artists sit on that don't come out, that might not come out, that 95% of the chance won't come out, but even if they do, they might not come out for another year or two. And these bubbling artists who like maybe got a feature from someone, or they got a song with someone, and they gotta wait all the time. And like every album has like 80, 100 songs recorded for an album, and then you pick 12. Right. You know what I mean? Like that means that 70 some other artists didn't get chosen. You know what I mean? And those songs can't go out because someone owns that shit. It just sits on that sucks. Think about the producer who, you know, has a record that they worked on it with B, and then that record doesn't come out, but they're thinking the whole time like, yo, when this record goes out, my life will change. Yeah, but I think that's what's interesting about, especially working on the level of Beyonce or like Chris Brown or Mary, all these different people, is that what I notice is like when you get to the level of being able to work with artists at that caliber, everyone's already been kind of trained to not like to come into it and not just be like, oh fuck, like I hope this song's for sure gonna come out. Like, no, because you know the reality. Facts. You know what I mean? Super you know facts. The reality. Like super facts.
you just go in, do your job, do it as best as you can, and leave with your fingers crossed. But just all that matters is you put in the work when you were there.
And you put the best product you possibly could, and then it's out of your hands.
Yeah.
Like, if the client liked it and they enjoyed working with you, and you did your job,
that's all they can ask for.
And you got paid, then that's what it is. If the content's come out, it isn't. Yeah, it's true, very true. I think
they just know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We as soon as you get to this point where you've had it happen, like you just fucking know, like.
It's just part of it.
It's just part of it.
You know,
especially when it comes down to creativity and like living in this world where that's the thing that matters the most. And some people have like different visions than you. If you come in and you're stubborn and like angry that someone's not fucking with your shit, it's nothing against you. It's just that you're not hitting what they see in their head. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's just the reality. So
facts.
you have to either cave in and turn into whatever they need for that moment to supply them with the best possible content for them, the people that hired you. Unless they're coming to you being like, we love your work and we would do anything to have you work for us, and they're giving you 100% control. But almost every time it's like, but these are the things that we need you to do.
Yeah, they have an idea when they
always.
And I think it's even possible, like, you know, to hit all their marks and like put a video that they like
that
and
you're happy with,
that you're happy with and they're happy with,
right.
And it's still not come out.
Yep. Yeah, totally.
Like all the time.
Yeah, totally.
And it's just reasons out of your control. Oh, it's too late. Or something happened and now something came up and we can't post it, or it's irrelevant now, or like, you know what I mean?
Gives me
and
fucking PTSD.
Hell yeah. So it's like when you have the pride of understanding, like, okay, like I did my job, like, and that's what sucks, I think, is another cool topic. That creativity, like we do this because we love it. Like even the fact that a video doesn't come out, I'm still fulfill this shit when I'm editing it, shooting it, editing it, like that process. But I think there's what I've learned is half of the process is the sharing part. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Well, yeah.
Yeah,
you
of
want
course.
to see live feedback.
Yeah. So it's like that's half the process. So when you deal with things that reject that from you or like hinder you from getting that part of it, you learn like, okay, like why do I really do this? Like I still, like, you know, a lot of it is about flexing or whatever, but still at least you leave knowing, okay, like I did my job. So that's still work. Mm-hmm. Like I went on and I worked, and that was my job today. Right. Because I did that and that was dope. You know what I mean?
In the DJ booth interview I just did, I talked about it for a second in there, but like I've had probably the most extreme version of this shit happen to me, where a company was in a position to and had told me, like, they're like, yo, we want to fuck with you on this level, like we want to give you money to work with us for the year on a specific project, and we have upwards of 3 of these projects, each that could pay you around $150,000 per project. I was living on the floor, like in a studio at that point. So I just graduated to the studio from the floor and had my own little spot that could barely afford $1,200 rent. And there, all of a sudden, there's a possibility that I could be making almost $500,000 a year to do shit that was easy to me and would take very little time on my side to produce or create the content that they were looking for. To the point where I was literally like, oh shit, it's about to go off. Like I was looking at cars, I was looking at a bougie ass apartment, like I could buy clothes now, you know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get everything I ever thought I like could have in the future, you know what I mean? Like it really got to me. Buy a house maybe back in Iowa or something just to do it. Just to like invest.
I mean, you probably could. Shit.
Yeah, I could have, but that shit, the role changed for the person that promised it to me, and the money went away, and immediately there was no jobs. And I was like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? It was that fucking close, and you're like convinced, like, man, it's about to go off, and like you tell certain people about it, and you're just like, fuck, it's close, man, it's gonna be crazy, and then it's gone. You look like a fucking idiot. You feel like a fucking idiot. That's the most depressing feeling in the world. But I've had it happen to me enough times where I learned that this is not the end of it all, and that at some point I did something right enough for someone to be willing to almost throw $500,000 in my pocket to do something easy. So if I just keep doing that again and again and again and again, it might not hit 10 more times, but the 11th time it could. Right. And that's the fucking jackpot.
That's the mentality.
That's how you should move, in my opinion.
And I think, you know, that another part of your story that everyone's heard, but of course, just like always good to bring up, you know, you get the promise that to go on the TDE tour, world tour, and that doesn't happen. And you were definitely like, at that point, it probably was even more so like this is the thing that's going to change my life or whatever.
It didn't happen because I sucked. It didn't happen because the tour didn't happen.
Yeah.
Like the tour just never came.
Right. But the point is that, like, you know, instead of crumbling or like, you're like, oh, you know, you decided, okay, I need to get out.
Right.
And I do think that's a great point. Like offers and things that are on the table, like you know, if doors are being presented to you, if opportunities are being presented to you, you're even in a position to like talk to the person that says, "Oh, this is happening," then you're doing something right, because you're in the right you're in the right position. There's plenty of people that would be like, you know, even want the opportunity to like get someone to say that, "Oh, this is possible."
Right.
You know what I mean? So like, if you're in that spot, then like I said earlier, that idea of like always being on the brink, just learn to be comfortable with that. I feel like that's what I've been trying to do lately. It's just like understand that like there's always something on the horizon. It may not happen or it may not, but like you're on a path and like you're always going to be at that brink, and like you're just looking for that next thing that's going to take you further, you know?
Yeah, you just have to make sure that they remember who you are. Like that's all you can do is work your ass off and get the job done, or try to attempt to get the job done and do whatever you can to be in these people's faces. But sometimes you could realize all these people are just bullshit. You know what I mean?
Facts.
And out here in LA, like 80%, if not more, are bullshit. All these people want to be somebody, so they'll sit here and pretend. We're in the land of the fucking free of actors, so everyone's an actor, everyone's got a costume on, and they're acting like they're the fucking this person. I have all the money and budgets for this company and I do all this shit, and then no one's hitting you up when they should be for whatever the thing is that they talked about coming up, and then there's no money. So don't let these people get to you. All you got to do is just put your head down and fucking go hammer and try to knock it out. But I love what Kavika said, and that's another great reason why you should join Black with No Cream.
Facts.
That was cool.
How much is it?
60 minutes.
Yeah, it's probably shortest in a while.
Yeah, it's a little short one, but I think it was good. We're about to switch gears and record Dave's interview. I'm excited. So definitely listen to that coming up here in the next few weeks. You can get a week early if you would like to by going to patreon.com/blackwindowcream.
In other words, you can get it on time.
You get it on time and in advance, 1 week early, before the public. So do that, and we'll also post the Q&A experience there as well. And there's just a shit ton of other good perks.
We got shit popping off on Patreon
God
right now.
damn, Patreon, like it's booming right now. Mad people are getting in there. The Discord's blowing up finally, which is sick. Like we finally got a Discord channel, which is really cool and convenient. It's like a space for people to come and chat every day at 24/7 and have opportunities to like talk in different forums, which is cool. So definitely check that out. Patreon.com/blackwindowcream if you want to support the squad, and shop BWNC.com if you would like some merch. I think that's good. That's good. Also, there's always a bonus morning roast every month on the Patreon, as well as live streams. So if you want to hear the morning roast that we put out for this month, which is May, that's already available. And we'll have one on June somewhere. It's on the calendar on
13th,
Patreon, the 13th. So there will be another morning roast bonus podcast episode. What was the one we just talked about?
We talked about a bunch of ways to improve your workflow and creating systems for your creative process and shit like that.
So if you want to learn how to improve your workflow, that motherfucker exists. So if you're trying to understand how to do it, you know where to go. Patreon.com/blackwindowcream or jointhehomies.com. I bought that domain because I thought it was cool and pointed it at Patreon.
We also have a live stream tutorial coming up at some point
on the 4th or something like that. Yeah, we're gonna do a live stream tutorial, and we're also gonna do a live stream critique hangout. I just tested it in the Facebook group, which is cool, and just live stream for like an hour, and people were sending me their work, and I was just like going through it and giving my 2 cents, or they're asking me questions or whatever, which is pretty fucking fun. So yeah, there's a lot of good opportunities. So make sure to check that out. We appreciate you guys listening to the Morning Roast every single Wednesday, and yeah, get ready for the next interview. It's coming out in a couple days, Sunday. Say bye, Dave.
Bye.